My name is Brendan, and I'll be explaining the different meanings of the words parody and satire, why some jurisdictions differentiate between the two in relation to copyright infringement, and whether this distinction is relevant in Australia. While it is risky nowadays to make generalizations or assumptions, when most people hear the words parody or satire, they tend to associate these terms with the Batuta Advocate or the Onion. These terms do, however, differ in meaning, and it is important to understand these differences. As parody and satire are not defined in Australian copyright law, let's have a look at how the Americans define it. In the US, parody is regarded as making fun of the source material or subject matter that it depicts. Satire, on the other hand, is defined as using the source material to make a general claim about society. Some examples of parody include the popular movie series Austin Powers, which is a spoof on James Bond movies. Another example of a parody is the movie series Scary Movie, which is a more general spoof on horror movies. Now, an example in satire, on the other hand, is the late-night talk show The Colbert Report, and even Mark Twain's classic book Life on the Mississippi. Political satire is renowned to be one of the most common and most significant forms of satire in the contemporary world. In the US, only parody is permissible. The US is more concerned if whether the defendant is making fun of the source material itself, or whether they are making a more general and broader point about society as a whole. Satire is viewed by many people as something that is negative and unbalanced in nature. One of the main characteristics of satire include exaggeration for effect, but it can be seen as nasty, harmful, and grotesquely abusive to some. Even though Australia has a reputation of being laid back in nature, it did not actually have a defence of fair dealing for parody or satire until 2006. In Australian copyright law, making something funny from another person's copyrighted material is not sufficient to rely on the parody and satire exception. The use must be part of some commentary on the material or some broader aspect of society. Within this defence, however, there is no set distinction between parody or satire. This is one of the few instances where Australian law is more generous to users than US law. As the parody and satire exception is a very new defence within Australia, it will be interesting to see how the courts will classify each term. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something from today's video.